How do you feel like how Griff, how is he different from other superheroes?
He's very different. Well, I suppose all superheroes are different from each other, but he's different in that he's largely living in a world that he's invented, and it doesn't mean it's not real necessarily. It depends how you feel about it, but he's in control of his world, so he can sort of manifest his own baddies and decide when he's needed and when he's not. You know.
You used to do acting. Just ask it. What made you turn to directing?
I'm still an actor, but when you're an actor, you have a lot of time between jobs or during work to do other things. Like I was on stage a lot, and that means you've got the whole day to sort of, create your own stuff. I also very rarely got scripts that I thought were things that I wanted to say, and it's hard. It's very disempowering to sort of wait for the right script. So I just started writing my own, starting with short films and then working up from there. So I'll keep doing that as well as acting. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about it. What drew you into the story then? Why did you come up with this story in the first place?
I sort of came up with the character first, and then the story sort of grew around the character. I remember this very clear point when I thought of Griff. I was in a cafe or a restaurant or something, and there was a little kid, 5 or 6 year old kid, playing something by himself, and his parents were talking over him, and he was in his own world. And I remember thinking, that looks like a lot more fun than where I'm at right now, where we are. But if I did that, I'd probably be arrested, which is a shame. And then I thought, what if I did, and what if I had a character who's my age who did still do that, who, when all of us at around the age of 11 or 12 or 10 or at some point because of peer pressure or society's rules, we're told we can't live in other realities, even though they're so real to us, or they were to me, we sort of get told we can't do that anymore, and I just thought Griff didn't stop doing it, even though he was told, and then from there I thought, why would he do that? What's he escaping from? And what's so good about his other world and so bad about reality? And how big does this other world become? Because I sort of see Griff's brain as, our reality is this sort of like a dinosaur's limbs, top limbs, and his reality is like these big, I don't know how to describe it, but his whole other side that he's created just gets bigger and bigger over the years as he gets older and more important. Yeah, and then I decided he needed someone who, his other half, who understood that, the only other person in the world.
I mean, it sounds to me like you quite tightly identify with Griff. Would you say that you and Griff are similar people?
I don't dress up in rubber at night, although keep an eye out tonight because I'm in the mood. No, but I think it's a bit of Griff in all of us, really, and I would hope that most people, even though he is quite eccentric and unusual, I would hope that most people, I know that most people, wherever you work or wherever people live or at any point on the tube or in the bus or somewhere, feels there's a part of themselves that no one else understands or is aware of, a creative part of you that doesn't get to see the light of day very often. And so Griff sort of represents in a much bolder way that part of all of us, I guess. So yes, I do have similarities to Griff, but I think we all do.
Tell me a little bit about the special effects. Obviously, you don't have a $1 million budget to play with, so how did you go about creating things like university?
We wanted to keep most things in camera, which is kind of Nicole and my production. Nicole's here actually, she's planted amongst the audience, a producer, yes, there she is. That's kind of our ethos. Is that the right word? Ethos?
Good word.
Yeah. To sort of do most things in camera. We have this most amazing production designer, I hope you agree, who's worked with us on quite a few films and short films and now feature. And so we like to, in that Michel Gondry kind of way, do everything in camera. But there's always things to do later, VFX, and I didn't do them, really. Someone else did them, but I was there and most impressed too. Really, it was. And I don't know what to say. I'm not very. Basically, I was there just to say more of that, less of that, and can we have more time in here, please, and make her fall through that door.
Tell me a little bit about the casting as well. I know that the actors are perfect for the roles that you've got here, but you've also seen some of them very different pieces of work. So how did you go about getting that cast?
Brian, particularly, you mean? We searched far and wide for Griff because he's such an unusual character, and we had some brilliant actors, a lot of them friends of mine, who came in to cast, and they were brilliant, but it was very hard to find someone who could balance the eccentricity while maintaining complete belief and dignity in the character in a way. It was hard to pinpoint and hard to direct people coming in. We really had to wait for someone. Brian's just got this amazing sincerity in his eyes, even when he's Jason Stackhouse, and even when he's eccentric like that, or he's a cop, or whatever he's doing, he just has complete belief in what he's doing. So it was pretty clear when he first sent a tape from LA that his balance between realities, his balance between unusual, idiosyncratic weirdness. It's hard to describe Griff without being, without coming up with judgmental words, because I don't want to do that, but he just found this perfect balance, because I think he actually loved the character, so he just didn't want to take the piss or make fun of it or play it for the comedy or anything. And equally with Maeve, Maeve just came in and, who plays Melody, she just came in and took it so seriously. Everything that Melody said, she took it 100% seriously, and she actually, I think, believes half of it as well, which I do too. Or not half, maybe a quarter. But she really went there 110%, and she sort of taught us. Well, they both taught us in their test what the characters were, really. So I kind of learned from them.
It connected you with everyone else. It connected you with everyone else. And I think it was a brilliant, beautiful film.
Oh, Griff the Invisible, it's great. A really great kind of superhero romantic comedy, I guess. It's a really great film.
I really enjoyed it, actually. It was quite sweet, and it was quite... He didn't let you know whether or not he really was a superhero or whether it was all in his mind, and even by the end of the film you're still kind of left to make up your own mind, I guess.
Griff the Invisible was a pretty cool film, actually. I thought it was a great twist in the superhero thing. It started off, it was a bit like Kick-Ass, but actually by the end of the movie I thought it was better than Kick-Ass. I thought it was a really sweet love story, and I thought it was a really cool idea. I liked the way it flipped between fantasy and reality. All round a pretty cool movie.